Welcome back, Beowulf Nation. It's Am Beowulf back at it with another video. Watch this. Ragnar's gonna roll right in. Ragnar, roll in. Ragnar, roll out. Ragnar, 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 Ragnar. She's here. She's here. Hi, Ragnar. Ragnar. Oh, good girl. Welcome back. Welcome back. Look at this pretty dog. Ragna in Norwegian means warrior. She's a little warrior. Growing big. I already got a couple dogs already in here. I got Cash at my feet. Pike is right here. Pike is right here. Ragna's right below me. Welcome back. I actually just got back from riding the Kawasaki SXR 1500. So literally got home, let the dog, put it in the garage, got let the dogs out, got out of the swimming suit, and like I'm here. So haven't had dinner, nothing. Got onto this thing because it was like, well, it was crazy. So it'll be in a future video, but I had my tie downs, and for some reason the clip came loose, and the skis. I literally still had to park the car, and the skis like floating away down the intercoastal waterway, and I'm like, oh my god, I've never had that happen. And the current's so strong. Luckily, and there's Pike right there. He's rolling around on the carpet. Ragnar's like, what are you doing? There goes Pike. There he's like, watch this. Pike's gonna be like, is he leaving? He's staying? No, it's right behind me. And luckily another private dock caught it, and there was somebody in a pontoon that gave me a little trip, so I had to go swimming after the ski. I see they're bickering. Is she picking on you, Pike? Pike's like, just leave me alone. Yeah, the dogs are in here. Cash is, as soon as literally this door opens, because they're not allowed to come in here unless I'm here. And literally, they're not, as soon as the door opens, the dogs come pouring into this room. They only have certain rooms that have like carpet. So I don't know if it's a carpet or they like to spend time with me. But yeah, it's a little bit nice to do in the live streams actually inside the house, because when the dogs are, it's hard on them to hear my voice in another room, and they're like, where is he? What is he doing? Especially puppies. Oh, that's bickering below me. So everybody's having a good halfway to the week. Week is almost over into October. But a big thing is with this SXR that's really frustrating is every time you go out there, the ski ride's completely different. And last time I went out, we had to worry about pine needles collecting in the intake grate, even with the stock intake grate, which is super frustrating. And then literally you go out one time and the setup ride's amazing. And the next time you come out there, you're like, how can you ride this thing? I mean, it's real confusing, because like today I'm riding it, felt like the current in different parts in intercoastal changes with that ski. But then you'll feel like you have total control, and all of a sudden the ski, what are you guys doing down there? The ski will start like shooting one opposite way. You're like, what's going on? And it's real narrow there where like you get a little worried, and it's super. The hardest thing is just knowing what's behind you. I think that's like probably, after being a lake, you can have enough wiggle room to kind of totally turn your head. There, it's just not a lot. It gets you a little worried because boats can come out of nowhere so fast. Andrew says, peace. Oh, man. Shoot. Don't want to get bit down my feet. Cash is like, leave me alone. Right. Guys, as the Ragnar is just like picking on Cash, just wants to sit there and just relax and sleep. And she's like, get up. It's time to play. It's funny. Just nobody bite my feet. I'm wearing sandals. Oh, now look at now. Here comes Cash. Cash is like, I'm here. Yeah, Cash. Cash. Oh, he's like, oh, scratch by my ears. Look at this. The jealousy happens. It's like, no, pet me, pet me, pet me. See, right now, people can see you. You just got to be smart. Turn your head. Right there. Look up. Yeah, there you go. No, don't lick the mic. No, look. You can see yourself if you look up high enough. Oh, don't bite his face. Don't lick his face either. That's not what Cash likes. Super hot. It's Caleb asked, is it still hot by you? Yeah, it was like 80 something degrees today. Still warm. Summer hasn't ended. Caleb said it's getting cold here. Here at 50 degrees is a high. Oh man, where is this at? Where is this cold weather at? I think one day, Saturday is supposed to get down to the high of 67, then it's back in the 80s. As long as there's no rain, that's fine, because we've had way too much rain. Wisconsin. That's interesting to say that, because I know I was talking to my mom on the way heading earlier before I went to go jet skiing. She said it was 80 degrees in suburbs of Chicago today, and then it's dropping down to get really cold tomorrow. It's interesting because that's actually pretty warm for that area. That's pretty warm, and put this cord. Stop messing around with it. I got this like label printer, and I have to run this cord so it's a little bit not seen. And John said it's going to be 78 in New York tomorrow. I'm riding for sure. That's nice to have like some warm weather where you guys are going to get cold soon. Does get cold here, but very short period of time. Like we're talking cold 45 degrees. I don't even think that's that. To me, it's kind of cold, but I'm going to get like a real heavy duty wetsuit and keep riding. Pike is just rolling around. It's like just dogs. You hear all this noise. It's like dogs are rolling around. Dogs are like messing around with each other. There goes Pike. It's this. You'll see just dogs, like a tail popping out. Like, where do they go? And they're all behind me. Now they're all bickering with each other. Cash does this thing. Let's see if we can get it. Let me get. Let's see. I don't run him over. Let's see if you can. Oh, you can't see Cash. So Cash does his army crawl, and he'll scoot around. Let's see if we get it here. Oh no, here he goes. Oh, you can't see it. So he's scooting. Let's see if he keeps scooting. So he stays in an army crawl, and he just scoots his belly like a frog, like around the floor. Now they're just. Look at this. Now they're just. It's just craziness. Caleb says, yep, a cold front comes through in tonight. Boat came out today in the jet ski last week. That's disappointing, man. Sorry to hear that. Your hair gets cold very short period of time, and then it just like warms back up. I actually can't complain. The only problem is when we get this like flooding and stuff. That's where it was like flooding last 2 weeks, and then it went away, and it's just I don't know. Oh my gosh, it's like, dude, the live stream should be not jet ski Q&A. It should be like the dog here coming to you live from Beowulf Nation. We have the three dogs challenging each other. Who will be the dominant dog of the pack? Is it going to be Pike? Is it going to be Ragnar? Or is it going to be Cash? Are we calling him Willie? What do you got? Give me that. She took that. I was like, it's her. We had packages. There's this like a little plastic thing. We have the sticky part of the package, this stuff in here, and then she's like running off with it. I'm like, you're not eating that. Like, get back here. Be like, coming to you live tonight on Raw. Who's gonna win? Who is the leader of the pack? Look at her. They come in. They're coming in. Yeah. Yeah. Look at it. Yeah. And the funniest thing, if you haven't watched Beowulf Nation, my second YouTube channel, Willie, the camera comes out and the dog's like, I'm telling the Sean. He should be an acting dog. He's so funny. He knows as soon as the camera comes out, he's like, oh, I'm going to be on. People are going to see what I'm doing now. So look at it. That's what she does. She just like messes with Pike. And you can tell when Pike's getting irritated. See, he has the ears go straight up. See, he has the ears go like really up. He's just like, I'm not feeling this. It's funny. Bull terriers, like where their ears go, like they just, you can tell different things while their ears are moving. So I heard some like crazy stuff. There's a new ride plate Riva Racing has coming out. I asked to know exact date. They couldn't tell me, but they have their Gen 2 ride plate for the GP. They'll fit 2017 and up. Yamaha GP. There's a whole new ride plate coming out. I'm pretty curious to see what's changed with it. So in 2019, the ride plate design they came up with was on 2019 and up Yamaha GP 1800 Rs. And then the one they sold had their stamp on it, but then they were painted in black. So I'm curious to see what comes out with that. In I know they have real big shorts. Look at her. She's just so nasty to him. She just won't leave him alone. She's like, the crazy thing about let's get off subject about Ragna. So what she does, she can open doors and lock doors. And she did that like way early on. And I have like this in my family room, I got like an island thing. Like, I don't know if that's what you call it. It's like a furniture thing. There's all these drawers where I put stuff in there. So the dog like opens the drawers and just takes stuff out. It's just like, seriously? It gets a little annoying that she's like always up to like going through my stuff or bugging other dogs. It's pretty funny. Cole asks, I wonder if the plate is meant for top speed or handling. Very interesting what it could be, because it definitely made a huge improvement. But then, because I'm going to sell I'm not going to run their Gen 2 intake rate that I got, because it's just where I'm at. There's just too much debris. I don't want to be stranded. But I know that they have a different intake rate that they're coming on the 2021s that will fit on the previous year GPs. There's basically like this design of what the Gen 2 is, but has it where it keeps all the restricting of stuff coming through there. Because that's the big thing. If you're somewhere where there's debris, it's not worth having that open intake rate. Cost you being stranded or destroying the prop. But I'm pretty curious to see what it looks like, or even photos. So it's like they don't even have photos to show. It just is. This is. Who just bites somebody's back or bite? He does not like his tail bite. Yeah, Pike's like, watch this. Pike's is like, not having this. Look, she's nasty. She's gonna just bite his butt. Pike's like, it's not. Pike's like the leader. She wants to think she's the one in charge. It's pretty funny. I just can't wait till this dog is like fully grown. It's gonna be like, she's locked me out of my house before. That was the crazy thing. I let other dogs out and the door locked. And I luckily have my keys to get back in my house. I'm like, a puppy locks me out of my house? How freaking aggravating. Cole says, I know the current plate is meant for handling because it only adds like 1 mile per hour, but machine ones are capable of 3 miles per hour. I think it's all going to be a handling thing. And again, it could have made the ski better. I don't know. It's just because somebody comes out. Like I was running the Watercross of Texas intake rate, and I felt it made the ski handle worse than better. I felt that it would always, even with a wave, would just shoot it up higher, like porpoise it all the time. And then once I took it out and put it back to stock one, it feels a lot more smoother all the time, especially on waves. I think it made it even harder to ride. So again, just because somebody came up with something doesn't mean it's always could be better. And it's interesting because some other people, like originally I bought it, everybody's like, oh, this is the best. And then I don't really think so. And then it was getting like, the crazy thing is there's like tons of pine needles, but you can't see it. So it's underwater. So when you're coming through there and it would pack the intake rate up, right? And then the ski, you'd be riding, trying to go straight, and it would be violently just like moving, like even in calm water, be just turning the thing sharp, like it's out of control. And it's unbelievable. You really feel everything going on with the water when you're riding that ski. It's like the snarls and all that stuff going on behind me. Yeah, but I'm curious to see how that's going to be. I know that they're filming some video, some ride plate that they already came out with the Superjet. My biggest concern with the new Superjet is like, I really think the sponsons make a big deal, and then it doesn't have sponsons, and then you'll have to be drilling. If somebody comes up with sponsons, you're basically drilling into the hull of the ski on the sides. And that gets me always a little worried about when you have to be doing that with something brand new. One thing if it's used, but when you spend a lot of money and you're buying it new, and you have to be drilling holes in anything in a ski, I'm not into that. I think that's not it. If you have to, I guess to. Otherwise, I just don't think it's that smart a thing. Cal says the new Superjet doesn't have sponsons. No, it doesn't. It's actually gets me a little worried. Because the nice thing with the SXR 1500 is, see, when you're doing sponsons on a Sea-Doo, you either have to have, you can be talented and be from the inside or the outs. Like you can do both if you're clever, having both hands in there, tightening them. Otherwise, you have to have a second person or move out a bunch of stuff to tighten the bolts. Then on the GP, it just is threaded right in, so you don't have to be going from the inside of the hull, especially even when you're doing the plate, because you have to change the plate. So the SXR is the exact same thing. You have a plate that has the bolts go in there, and then it's the other bolts that put on the plate is the sponson, which is really nice. Now, again, you have neither one of those, and you drill it in there. And it's a worry thing is like somebody comes up with something that fast, and I don't know. Jason says, bonjour from Canada. What's going on, Canada? Cole says, I've drilled 19 holes in hulls of jet skis and make me super nervous every time. I just think it's just it's one of those things that makes me think twice about buying it. As much as I want to get it, I'm thinking to myself, well, if it's kind of hard riding the other one and it changes, and this thing doesn't have any sponsons, maybe you can't even, it's not going to be even rideable. Can we, like, stop the fighting? Both of you two. Hey! Time out. I got him to stop. Michael says, good day from Australia. He says, I know a little bit about sticks and all getting stuck in the prop and wear ring. Luckily, it's been really easy to clear. Keep a bit of wire with me with my tools. Yeah, it's one of those things. Like last time I went out with it, not this time, there was like, it must have packed into the intake rate, right? Pulled it out once I got back because it was having like lost half the power of how fast you go in the SXR, which is a little scary when you're out there in the stand-up because you have like nothing with you and there's nowhere to just stop and like lift it up or see anything. So I pulled it out and I looked when I got home. I crawled underneath there and shone a flashlight and I saw nothing jammed up in the prop. And as soon as I went out again, you could have that same thing where something's in there. And luckily it passed it right through and the ski worked. That's what I don't like those aftermarket intake grates. Cole said they may have put deeper grooves in the hull, but I don't think the handling would feel as sharp as ones with the sponsons. So the crazy thing, so I first tried the R&D sponsons on the SXR 1500s. So they had giant sponsons, huge. So you could only move it forward and back, barely that much of a setting, right? And during that, I had a steering cable issue, so we don't even know what was going on with that. So I put the Revo Racing ones in there. So the Revo Racing ones have, I think it's 3 or 4 settings. I think it's 3 settings up and down. And then I think it's 3 or 4 settings moving forward and back. So it's a lot of settings. And the sponsons are going here and there. So if you put them all the way down, all the way forward, it had really good stability of just all around feeling really tons of control with it, right? You can notice the ski coming out of the water totally different with doing it, which is wild. Which I thought would help coming here where the current's strong. Because what happens here is you'll be riding and you'll feel like anybody who's been on black ice driving a car, well, all of a sudden you'll be driving and all of a sudden you feel like it just shocks you. You're like, oh my gosh, what's going on? And that's what happens when you're riding it here. It's just you're just riding, you're just you'll be having total balance, and all of a sudden there'll be no waves, and then all of a sudden the ski's just going woof, woof, and you're like, what's going on? And there's no waves. It's worse than if you were riding where it's super rough. To me, it's very confusing with riding that. And when you're on the Yamaha, you don't feel any of that stuff. But again, when I had the Sea-Doos, they would go different speeds opposite way down the river. And with the GP, it goes the same speed no matter what direction. It's kind of interesting how hulls are designed and whatnot. And I think a lot of it can do with ride plates, because the ride plate that's on there is the Watercross of Texas ride plate. So I'm just debating, is I might go back out on it again tomorrow and just put the sponsons back one and see if it changes that. If not, then I might just pull the aftermarket ride plate out and just play around and see what works the best for me. But I know for sure I'm going to put up for sale the intake rate I put on that, because I'm never going to use it. Michael says, sometimes you can't even see anything in the water. It's a pain to crawl under the ski on the trailer to clear it. Yeah, the SXR, you won't be able to get your hand up there to clear anything. If you can't visibly just grab it right at the intake rate, there's no way getting anything else out. That's why I get some people talk about they silicone around all the bolt holes. I'm like, what if you had to pull it off and it can make it harder pulling off the intake rate? That's why I wouldn't do something like that. That's what happened when I ran their Gen 1 intake rate with the GP. I caught a couple things in there, but little things that passed right through. And then one time when I had the aftermarket intake rate on the SXR, I was luckily coming back in, and it was a big chunk of wood, and you couldn't even see it at the surface. It'd be this wide, kind of square, but it was not cut wood. It was just a piece of wood that must have been underwater. Luckily, it was at the end of the ride, so basically you're not going that fast, so it never went through the prop. But if you were going super fast, it probably would have jammed you up, thrown you off, could have just destroyed it. I mean, it's just because the intake rate's so wide open, just let it right in. I don't know. It gets one of those things. It's a real confusing thing to be what you should be doing and buying one of those. Cole said, the only reason I put silicone on the bolt holes to help with top speed. It probably would help, but it would be a pain in the butt when you have to take the bolts out. Because I know when you do change the intake rate, for example, on the Yamaha, you have the pump seal kit, so you have to basically pull down a little bit of the fair amount of the ride plate. So if it's on the trailer, you got to push it all the way farther back where all this is off the back of your trailer. And it's the only way you can do it. Get to half the bolts or get it all lined up. It'd be nice though if they come up, Riva comes with a new ride plate, that they don't have if somebody has the option of not wanting the wheel sensor in there. So if somebody puts a electronic GPS that just plugs in, then they already have that where it's blocked off. But I know there's a company, Max Boost. They sell a carbon fiber piece that will block the wheel sensor. Oh, bless you. Man. Cole said, yeah, it's a pain because you have to pick away the silicone with a screwdriver, but I've only had to change it once. Yeah, that's a little where I get a little worried about something like that. I'm like, oh man, that would be like a pain in the butt. Because a lot of them, they tell you too, where you have to do silicone on different parts of it when you're sticking it up, and which is good. I didn't do it when I did on the GP because stock they don't, but then all the companies aftermarket, they tell you should. But luckily I didn't do it because then I sent it back and then I paid the difference and then I think they sold one. Kelp says, do you have any old unused GP parts for sale? Yeah, I got the brand new, the Gen 2 intake rate with the whole pump seal kit. I had that. I've never even installed it. I have like pretty much all the stock parts I pulled off. I got a stock seat cover. I don't have any of the parts of the stock handlebars because I recycled all that. And it was some of those screws you couldn't even get off. They were like some parts it was like you had to cut it to get it off. But I'm planning to put some of the stuff all on the Am Beowulf.com because I get really good with Shopify. I get really good discounted shipping rates. Like somebody just bought a hat, and like the shipping is like super super cheap to send a box from South Carolina to Australia. Like I think the guy paid like $12 or something like that. I don't know. It's not as much as that's actually really really cheap. I mean, you'd expect like it's something like that you'd be paying in the United States to ship to one part to the other. Really good rates. So that's like the really cool thing with that. So that's why I figured some of these parts, like when I sold the Jeep SRT, I have stainless works, just straight pipes. So there's no catalytic converters in them. And like it would be super expensive normal shipping that. But if I put on my website and somebody buys like that, then I'll just get off the weight and give like a super really good shipping rate with that. So the person who buys it won't have to pay a lot. Let's see. Jacob said, not really related, but I have a 2011 FX SHO that stutters and then takes off slowly until 3,000 RPMs, then goes like hell to 6,400 RPM or 60 miles per hour and won't go any faster. Any advice? Bad gas. Check if anything's loose. If something's having issues, I wouldn't keep riding it. That's probably the best advice. Looking at intake rate, got to crawl underneath, shine a flashlight up there, see stuff, check all in there, make sure nothing's loose. You know, if you can't visibly see it from there, then I bring it to the dealer. If you can't figure it from there, but if something's wrong with it, if something's wrong with stuff, I don't keep riding it. I would stop riding it immediately, figure out what's going on. Cole said I bought the GPS and block up plate for a mile per hour and an accurate speedometer. Michael said, do you think Yamaha will increase power in the future or go electric? Interesting what the future has coming. You definitely know they have to be thinking that. For example, this is kind of like, well, we're talking electric. So this is just where I know where things are going. So you look at police car wise, which is, let's not even talk civilian vehicles, but let's just talk police cars, right? So you first had the Crown Vics that all the government agencies were using it, right? Like if they didn't have really strict mile per gallon laws, I guarantee those cars would still be on the road. They'd still be making them. So that's when they came out with the Ford Explorer. They call that it's not even called it. It'd be the Police Interceptor Utility. And then when they had the Taurus, it wasn't called the Ford Taurus. It was the Police Interceptor Sedan, right? So they stopped making the sedan because Ford is no longer making any cars. The only car they're going to be making is the Mustang. No other cars. So they're going SUVs, vans, and trucks. That's it. So that's why that car stopped in production years ago. And that's why now police departments don't even use that vehicle, which is a really fast vehicle because you can get an all-wheel drive with an EcoBoost twin turbo V6, like super fast. And there's like 2 or 3 different options that they did have. Now it's different. So there was a video I saw where somebody had a Trackhawk. So that'd be the G SRT, but it would have the Hellcat engine in it. And somebody had just this regular Ford Explorer EcoBoost and was actually beating it. And that's pretty impressive because you're talking a super expensive SUV that has a Hellcat engine in it. And here is like a V6 twin turbo spanking it. And but the interesting, what I'm getting at is a point. So now all the police departments are selling the Ford Explorers because the new ones from 2020 and up are hybrids. So thus you can see what the police department's going into the hybrids. So I think there's going to be in the future of vehicles, not going to say in jet skis, but cars, there's going to be more hybrids and there's going to be more electric cars. And that's why I did the decision of selling the vehicles, like selling the Jeep to get what I'm doing. Because it's basically going to be less than 5 years that like stuff is drastically changing. Like they got the Jeep Wrangler coming out this coming year, where it's going to be a hybrid, which is kind of crazy to think of that. And it actually gets really good gas mileage with that. But you're going to see like the future of Corvette, electrics coming there. I guarantee you they got something in the works that will be happening, is what I'm guessing. How that's all going to work, that's going to be questionable because first, I think there's going to be a lot of future of like gas stations. They won't be like how they are. They're probably going to be like these massive charging stations. And then the hard thing is, how is that going to work on the water? Because you can't expect every marina to be having that. Like water and electricity, high voltage is not going to be a mix. It's going to be kind of crazy how that's all going to work. You might not be able, like I think one brand, electric jet ski, they have replacement batteries. The interesting thing, like when I cut my grass, I have I think it's called brand's Echo. I think it is. Whatever. Who cares? If I said wrong, like I don't even care. But anyways, it has battery. Do I have one in here? Well, actually, I think I do. This is kind of interesting. So I'll show you guys because I know what's in my closet. Because I checked. So we're talking about electric, so I'll get something out that's kind of cool. So if I'm saying it right, it's Echo, whatever. Yeah. So this is the battery cell that charges I've had this for a couple of years now, right? So this is how one of the batteries for cutting my grass with my push mower, right? So you have a little thing that shows it has this crazy charger. But if you have this and it's hot, like if it's in my garage charging, it won't charge. It'll stop charging. So that's why I keep them inside the house where they're cool all the time, right? Now I could go through like 3 of these by how hot it is. I'll go like how hot it is outside is how fast one of these will go through really quick. But I know that one of these brand, not mainstream jet skis, they had this whole idea where there would be a spare battery where it'd be like something like this. That's why I grabbed it out of the closet. So you just pop in one, pull one out, and then you couldn't charge it till you got back. And I think that's the only way electric jet skis are going to work, because it's probably not going to be where you can go to the marina and spend forever charging it. You'll basically have one you pull out, put another one in. But having a lot of space open up, maybe they'll have a couple of these. I don't know. Figured just to share. But this is pretty cool. Like, I like that. Is having a push mower where it's electric. Now they got crazy ones. You go to Home Depot and stuff. There's even technology farther than what this one is, because I think this one's like, it's a lithium ion. It's 58 volts. And I think there's ones that are even more volts. It's interesting because like you don't have to ever worry that it's going to stop running. It's just an electric motor moving the blade. And to me, it's so nice because all I have to do is pre-charge some of these up, slap it in, cut the grass, and then like I see have my other neighbors are gas mowers, if it's riding mowers or push mowers, that they all break down. Just catching up to the comments. But I figured to pull this out. This is kind of interesting. I think this is kind of cool. And I think there's different ones now too where they have like bigger batteries. But my guess, future electric jet skis, this is how it's going to work. It's going to be different than how a car is going to be. It's going to be something a lot bigger than this, but I'll probably have one where you're storing. Guarantee you this is the idea that if they're coming up with how they're going to do it. Because I don't think the marinas are going to be able to charge stuff like that. Like I think I said in my last live stream, so my house is on 400 amps. I have two separate garages. So one garage is on 200 amps. So if I have one of these fast chargers for like a electric jet ski or a car or SUV, it's super fast to charge. Let's see if I can catch it. Caleb said, will you put the Gen 2 plate on ever? Yeah, I asked them because I want to order it. What I'm planning on doing is putting the intake rate from the new GP on mine and then putting their new ride plate on, the Gen 2. But they told me is they don't even have in their system any of the parts for the 2021s. But you got to remember is all 2020 down parts are like out of stock for Yamaha. So remember that the new one shares parts with that. That's again what I was worried about, and I was right. So if something goes wrong, you might not have a chance to get any parts anytime soon. It's kind of a little crazy. What is going on back here? Do you understand I'm doing a live stream? Look at these two. Let's see if we can see. Look at those two. Just sitting there talking to each other. They're like, we're doing our own show here. Look at her. She's just like, play with me. Play with me. This is just how these two dogs play. They're not hurting each other. They're just like, they'll be like, how can I annoy each one of you? That's what they're thinking. Let's see. I'll catch back up where. John asks, is the FX Cruiser really faster top end with the Jeep than the GP stock? No, because actually, if you look on that with some of the specs, like the stage kits, like with Riva and stuff, when you're comparing kits, there's the GP is faster. That's when you're modifying. Cole said I hope CU doesn't try an electric jet ski with a carbon steel problem. They showed 2 years ago that they had in the works testing some electric jet ski with the carbon steel. It could be like, you imagine that's the only thing with electric that's a little scary. You imagine it's like with water and salt and like, especially if a ski sunk, like you would have like, who knows what would happen. I mean, that's kind of a little crazy. John said, so for knock on wood, 30 hours on my 2020 RXT, no issues with the carbon seal. I was told never to run it out of the water for more than 20 seconds. You shouldn't be running, to be honest, you shouldn't be running it out of water, period. Because only thing connecting your water to is for your intercooler, flushing the intercooler, and your exhaust. If you're in fresh water, there's no need to you should not start it up out of water. And if you go in the ocean, best thing to do is after riding it, go take it somewhere to fresh water and ride it around for a while. That's what I would do. That's my opinion. That's probably why mine lasted and never had an issue, is because like when I first got, that's what I was doing. Start for a short period of time, stop it, and after that, I never ran it ever out of the water. Ever. Maybe if I had to start up real quick, be like on off for something, just make sure there was no leaks if it's a part I added or something. I would never. That's why I laugh all the time when I see videos and people are have their through all exhaust, revving it, fire coming out. I'm thinking like, man, you just toasting that carbon seal. You were just like, dude, you're just destroying the ski. Oh, it's just too funny. I laugh every time I see that. Yeah, you definitely gotta be careful with that, you know? But you check the carbon seal, but you gotta Swedish ass, are you gonna do a trailer YouTube? I don't know what do you mean by trailer YouTube? Like a trailer, like a movie trailer? Joe has FX or RXTX, man. FX all day long. Good comparison. You'd be more happier with the FX, my opinion. If I was you, like if the FX like it is now came out when the RXTX came out, I would never have bought the RXTX. If you're all into the music, that actually has a name brand speakers you can add on it. There are JL audios with a subwoofer. I'm sorry, CJ's not even close in the game of that. Swedish says trailer for jet ski differences. Yeah, I got right now. I got like 4 trailers, and definitely need to be shown of how they all look in comparison, just for people to realize. A lot of people don't, because I'm selling my Triton Elite trailer, and it's funny where some places I got listed, some of these people are like, they're comparing it to the Triton LT dual trailer, and it's not even the same trailer. The axle is a little different. It's 10 inches wider. It is not. It might look the same, but it is not the same. They have the same wheels on it, not even the same axle. It's the whole. It's not even anything the same. It's a completely different trailer. It's just so funny. It's just like, if you don't want to buy it, don't buy it. You're lost. Because I talked directly with Triton. There's going to be a huge shortage of. There already is a huge shortage of jet ski trailers. And I'm not even trying to make money on it, just trying to sell it. But actually, and I'm on the fence, I might just keep it, just put it in storage or something somewhere. Christian asks, how much you sell the trailer? I'm asking $2,500 for it, and I got stainless steel straps in the back, adjustable straps so they won't rust, and it has a spare tire, matching aluminum wheel, and I have brand new tires for it too. Caleb said, unless you like repair shops, go FX. Laugh out loud. Cole said, John Beck, do you like sunken skis, snap chiming chains, dropping 500 each year to rebuild your supercharger? Just name a few. John says, I thought whether fresh or salt water, when you pull out of the water the trailer to blow water out the pump. Well, my opinion, if you're in salt water and you ride Sea-Doo and they're known as sink and carbon seals, I just, first off, if your ski sinks, you have to pay fines by the DNR with that. So they're higher fines when you're leaking oil and being a Sea-Doo, being closed loop cooling where you have coolant. You pay huge fines if your ski sinks in the ocean. Plus, you put yourself super danger of like how somebody's going to bring your ski in. If you don't have a distress beacon of where you're at, you can be somewhere where there are stuff that might eat you in the water. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff. Plus, too, when there's giant waves, it's not like you can just hop on a boat for a rescue. And then like some places like Lake Michigan, they get huge waves. You go way out there, you get lost and stuff like that. I mean, there's people I've seen videos where that's happened in Lake Michigan, where people lost their life and stuff. I don't know. I think no offense, if someone's known to sink, I wouldn't go in the ocean. But even freshwater, you get fines. I think there's huge fines, like $6,000-$7,000. But buy whatever makes you happy. But it just to me, I'll buy another Sea-Doo when they get rid of the carbon steel. Once they get rid of the carbon steel and improve stuff, I'll buy another Sea-Doo. Until then, I'm not gonna own another Sea-Doo. Swedish asks, how many months do you jet ski? Literally every month. And this year, I'm going to probably ride straight year-round, no breaks. I'm just going to get a heavy-duty, crazy boots and like the whole thing. And I'm going to be like totally just going nonstop. That's my goal. But the super chat, I plan to just ride that thing like year-round because it's actually nice when it's the colder it gets, the lesser people are on the water. So it's like all going to be yourself. So you don't have to be always looking behind your shoulder like, is there a giant boat coming up behind me? It's kind of crazy when I ride this stand-up. Like today, I'm thinking to myself, well, because one video, what's not up yet, there were massive fishing boats coming through. Massive fishing boats. So I'm thinking to myself, what if that was behind me? Like I didn't even know, like, let alone the wake, or like I got in front of them and they couldn't, they can't even get out of my way. It's kind of scary. Or they're these super fast boats. I'm kind of when I'm out there, I'm like, somebody could be really quick behind you and you don't even know about it. Luckily, it's never happened, but you never know. It's one of those things you got to think about. I like that kind of when you have the jet skis with the mirrors. It's nice to know what's going on. Swedish said, have you seen any gators lately? I've seen big things drop underwater where you can't figure out what it was. That's why I was a little worried today when it was dusk. And I'm like, I would have to swim pretty far to get my stand-up. It was like drifting away. And I'm like, oh my, when it happened, it was so far away. Even if I jumped right off the dock, I still wouldn't have reached it. And I still had my car running. I'm just like, oh, are you kidding me? There was on the way there was this huge bad accident where like some person like flew off the road into the car went through somebody's house and like, oh, just terrible accident. And I'm thinking like it took me forever to get to the boat ramp because of this accident. And then my skis drifting away. I'm like, are you kidding me? Is it all things going on? This is happening right now. And I'm like quickly parking, throwing all my gear. I'm like, time to suit up and go. Like, and this pontoon's leaving. I'm like, you guys give me a ride over there. And it's funny because I tell them, I was like, yeah, the swing bridge is a pretty big gator. And the parents on the board of the boat go to the side to go, that's where you jump in all the time. And I'm thinking like, you don't think stuff like is here? You just like, when I saw the gator rise up when I was on the stand-up before a couple of months ago, I'm like, this is real. And then the last ride with this RX-PX, when the gator hits the ski when I'm pivoting it underwater, and that is just in the same spot. Close it. I think it'll be a while before electric jet skis match the performance of gas skis. Electric ski does 60, but gas ski does 80, which is a flash. Well, the reality, the cars are faster with electric anyway. Plus now too, like there's a lot of cars that would be, I think they were talking about the new Corvette in a couple of years, like Stonk will have 1,000 horsepower. And you would thought 10 years ago talking about cars coming out 1,000 horsepower, you'd be like, that doesn't even make sense. But majority of the time, electric cars are faster. Right now, you're seeing a taste of like the first things with electric, and really, most of these electrics they're out there. They talk about what the specs are, but I've not seen one like riding around where somebody's actually bought one. Kelb said, "Do you ever miss your CDs?" Not one bit. Except for I got the CD merch, and there's only a few of these left on Beowulf, and they are gone, gone. But I threw this on because it was not planned. I just threw on one of my shirts before leaving the house. Swedish asks, "Where is everyone from, and what type of jet ski do you guys ride?" So somebody asked that. It's a type of way. Where are you from, and what type of jet ski do you ride? And if you don't own a jet ski, put down what kind of jet ski you would like to buy. Patrick said the new 2021 Yamaha is a real step up from the previous model. Are you considering upgrading and keeping the old model? Well, I had a pre-order on the new GP and I canceled it. I'm still planning on getting the super chat. I'm still on the fence. I'm probably for sure going to do it. It just I don't even know when they're coming, and then plus two, we don't know how bad stuff is going to get in the next couple of months. So, and that's kind of a drive to go get it. So for sure. I personally thought my ski has no hours, so thus why. Plus, there is some new stuff on there like switches and stuff that's not been there before. And I guarantee. And the crazy thing is quick as you want to jump and get the new Yamaha GP 1800R. Literally less than 9 months from now, they're going to be announced in the 2022. So think about that. Less than 9 months. That they'll not even announce them that you can actually get them. 2022s. So that's something to think about. I think the Superjet, it's kind of new. So I think it'd be kind of cool to have compare with the SXR, have another 4-stroke stand up and just I don't know. If I don't like it, I'll sell it. That's basically where I think they're only from what I was told they're only making 600 of them, so it's gonna be super rare. Coming built from Japan with Yamaha. All the other Yamahas, they're built, assembled in the United States. So it's kind of cool. Someone's come from Japan. Maybe they could really hold their values, So, I mean, for sure, I'd probably just get it just to have it. Because I seen what the last 2020s, the 2-strokes are selling for like crazy money. Michael says, I've got close of hitting a snake in the water. Surely Sea-Doo will get rid of the carbon seal, or they have had the kit to replace all of them with a bearing or something. Literally, the only way to fix it, they'll have to come up with all new lower part of the hulls. Doing it, and financially, I don't think. Plus, the whole carbon seal. It's how these dealerships make all their money. I ask anybody that knows anybody who's a mechanic at these dealers that sell all 3 brands, and literally what pays the bills and keeps the lights on for all those mechanics having jobs are Sea-Doos. And especially every private shop. Look at any repair shops and see what's all in there. It doesn't mean because everybody's owning Sea-Doos. It's just because that's how they make all their money. If they were repair shops just working on Kawasaki and Yamahas only, I mean, they probably do upgrades, but they wouldn't be like repairing. I mean, I had nothing. I've only had one thing go wrong. I can't say what it is until the video comes out. But I mean, I've had nothing, and it's nothing to relate with Yamaha. What caused it? I only have one issue with my Yamaha, and I could just go on a whole list of stuff with the Sea-Doos that I had issues with. Caleb said, "Are the new shirts going to be up soon?" I'm going to keep asking. I think I'm going to do over the weekend because I think I'm going to have them up on the weekend. I might have them up tomorrow. I don't know. I got like a fair amount of stuff I got to do tomorrow, so I don't think tomorrow I'm going to have them up. Soon. I will let you know once they're up. The hats are up. So if you want to get one of the hats, the hats are there. New hats are up. Lich said, "What's up, Wolf? What's going on, brother?" Cole says I was at a dealer. He had 9 Sea-Doos and 1 Yamaha in the service area. That's kind of the facts. I mean, that's just some Sea-Doo people. I don't want to sound like I'm hating on Sea-Doo. I mean, I think Sea-Doo, I would own another Sea-Doo if they fixed the issues that were with it. And I've seen some people where, like, some people, they haven't even gotten their stuff fixed. Like, their engines have been broken and they can't even get an engine from Sea-Doo with one of the 300 engines. I mean, that would be like a terrible thing to spend the money and then it's sitting and you can't ride, especially if you're in somewhere that uh, you don't have that long of a season. I think the person was up in New York, or like one person, they had a rag when it assembled in the supercharger or something, and then somebody ended up stealing the person's jet skis too. I mean, talk about bad luck. That's why I'm moving to all single trailers, because I didn't like the big thing. I didn't like the dual trailers is leaving another ski behind when you're going riding, just in general. I mean, that's the side of me that wants to keep it, because I'm like, well, if I take a road trip, it'd be nice to haul both skis with. So that's why I'm on the fence with what I'm doing. Cole says, I love Yamaha. Admit CDs look a lot cooler. I think the Yamahas look cooler. That's just my opinion. I actually tell you, between when you're comparing like the new GP 1800R, the black and green person, I think the graphics on the 310R, 100, it looks 100 times better looks wise than with the green in there. I don't know. I just tell you, the new CD or the new Yamahas, less than 9 months, you can be purchasing the 2022s. So I'd rather wait and see what changes and then improve stuff. Because what's going to happen? They're going to come out, going to find stuff that's a weak link, and then improve stuff, and then stuff's going to be better. And they did that before. Even with the 2019 was better than 2017 and 2018. Then 2020 improved something, and then the 2021s improved stuff. So I mean, you basically, I think it's better just to wait. But everybody's gonna do whatever they want. I mean, to me, I got a low mile ski, so it's not a big important thing. Swedish said your sweatshirt and t-shirts are real nice quality, not cheap like what some people sell. Sweatshirt is not too thick, so you can wear it all year. That's the one thing I like. Yeah, that's where I came up with them. Is just where they're like kind of something you can wear year round and not really thick sweatshirts. And got to get a whole new lineup for what we're doing for fall with those. It's what I'm in the works of doing. Lich said, now that I think about it, every time I take the Yamaha to the shop, I see 80 to 90% CD there. It's just the facts. Close to the carbon seal will break regardless, just a flawed product. Kelso, the 2020 Yamaha with the red, blue, and white was the coolest ski in their last decade. I agree. Like, that was a crazy thing. When I bought my 2019, literally 2 months, not even that, 2 months later, the 2020s came. I remember how I was like so pissed. I was like, if I just waited, which I like mine. I like how it turned out, but I really wanted that red, blue, white, and black. Like, oh my god, I was so pissed. Like, I was like, why didn't I wait? The graphics are cooler. That's basically where I'm thinking to myself, like, why I canceled the pre-order, because I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, trust your instincts. Wait, have patience, and then boom, I guarantee it's gonna be like they're gonna be. You guys are you gonna when it happens, you're like, Brave Wolf, you were right. Plus, I'm worried about the whole parts thing. When these are people selling the OEM parts, tell you that stuff is out of stock till like who knows when in 2021, that out of stock now going in there. It's a little scary. Good thing is Yamaha doesn't have any issues. Some breaking, but it could be like a shortage of like, I don't know, who knows what. I mean, I don't need anything, but it's kind of crazy. Kelp says Patrick's mad about the truth hurts. But I really like my 2020 GP, blue, white, and black. That's why I'm like kind of a little disappointed with the 2021s with Yamaha. It's like they had the 2019 look really good. They changed stuff up. The 2020 looked really cool, and it was just like I don't know. Everybody has their own opinion how stuff looks. I mean, I was just kind of like, there's big portions where like it's just hard to tell. And in photos I've seen side by side, you sit farther back on the new GP. And I never liked the stock handlebars, and the handlebars are really high. And it's like Riva claims, with their pre-built $30,000 2021 GP 1800R, they're gonna have like they have parts that they're gonna have on it, and they don't even have it. Like you can't even see a photo yet. I mean, it just tells stuff is just rushed. Like, how could you do stuff in like that short? If you can't even stock the parts, aftermarket parts you have out now, how could you expect to have something new come out? I mean, it's just like, I don't know. I mean, who know? Like the intercoolers, because I was on the fence. Should I upgrade the intercooler or not? And you'd have to pay for it now, and it wouldn't ship to end of November, which is like basically what? It's October 14th. That's a month and a half from now, and they're over like $1,000 something bucks. Besides, you have to get the whole water kit, like the whole water line kit. It's another separate thing besides it, so it's a lot of money. Shipping on it, you're talking like $1,500 or something like that. A lot of money just be sitting without knowing. And then kind of when I look at the designs, I almost think the work racing intercooler is a little bit better. But the problem is they don't have a lot of photos. When you look at how it drains, the bottom of it has where the water comes out is right at the bottom. Then the Riva Racing one is the pipes at the bottom. I don't know. It's kind of one of those things. But again, both those you got to drill a pretty big hole in the jet pump assembly, and each one, when you read the instructions, are in different areas. So it's kind of one of those things like, oh man, drilling. But it's like if you had to, I don't know. It's one of those things you got to think about. But again, they're out of stock. I mean, before you call and be like, "Hey, I want to get this, that," no problem. And it's. I think it's getting stuff manufactured. Plus, I think people are like wanting to do more stuff to the skis, and yeah. Caleb said, "Laugh out loud. The Beowulf edition is cool though." I was like really looking forward to it, and then really when I look at it, like to me, building up a ski, why it not only is the shortage of parts, but the biggest thing is like here you could say, yeah, you can change everything you want, but everybody's booked up. Like the guy that did my custom graphics, they can't just print something tomorrow and send it. I'll be on I had to wait for like a month and a half to get what I got with that. So you got to wait till they get one of those to measure everything out, and then everything you're waiting for all these parts. By the time you finally build the ski how you want it, literally they're going to announce the next ski. And I don't want to be just slowly building stuff up and then be driving it and then you can't get certain stuff. And if the majority of the parts I already have is what's on mine, it really, to me, it's like, I mean, that if you haven't ridden with their handlebars on there, it's like a must-to mod on the ski. It needs it. And because the handlebars are way shorter inwards, I love how it handles like that. And to be selling stuff where you got all this money put in it, and the new one, you're like, if you're not happy how it looks and you want to change stuff, it's probably like it's best to wait and see what else comes out. Plus, when there's more years coming out, that means that you can swap other stuff from the new one to that one. That's how I did a couple of things. I mean, the bumpers, well, the front rear bumpers were from the other 2019 ones. So you're just swapping other things and mix matching stuff to kind of customize it. Let's see. Catching up where everybody's at. Bait donated a super chat dollar. Thanks a lot, brother. People are talking about how they love each other. Good. We should love on the channel. No hatred. If you're not happy with life, bring it somewhere else, right? Here, it's just stating facts. It's not like I'm not like biased where I'm like, I only like one brand. There's certain things like you've seen, I'm talking like, telling truth about Yamaha and Kawasaki. Like there's no, you know, nobody's safe. Michael says, I have a CDU 2012. To be honest, I haven't had any issues. Do my best to look after it though, but time to move on. 2022 FX SVHO. I'm thinking, want to try Yamaha. You might be lucky where you don't have as many issues. The biggest problem is a lot of issues is how they're assembled and parts being used now with the newer ones. So you could have been lucky not having as much being a 2012, but like everything up is having tons of issues. Caleb said, Patrick, I was a CDU owner for a long time, just had problems, so I left. Doesn't mean you have to also. Everybody can be different. I agree with that. I mean, we don't have to have to ride the exact same identical ski. I mean, everybody has different things that what makes them happier in life. Buy what makes you happy. If you like that stuff, have issues and have problems. Not everybody, and again, it comes to being how they were assembled and parts being used. They're using cheaper stuff now. I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things like, we all have to be alike. We all have to drive the same car. Like I like fast cars, and right now I like police Crown Vics. I think they're like a lot of fun to drive. Plus, I think it's hilarious. Like driving the car and it looks like I'm taking the impound like the jet ski. I just picked up these like man, I shouldn't even tell. It's gonna be a surprise, but I just purchased something on eBay that I don't know what Crown Vic's gonna get it, but it's some like really cool stuff. But it's all gonna be on Beowulf Nation, so I won't give any sneak peeks. But you guys will be like, "Oh yeah, he's taking this card to the next level." Oh yeah, it's gonna be like people see me go to the boat ramp and I'll be like, "Whoop whoop," be like, "What's going on?" Oh, it's gonna be hilarious. This Crown Vic thing is gonna be epic, and I can't spoil nothing. I gotta keep it close to the chest. Can't let you guys know yet. Closer, there is problems with CDUs than the Yamahas. I'm not arrogant, but Yamaha problems like their clutches fail sometimes, but at the end, Yamaha is far better choice than CDU. Yeah, and the problem is the clutches go, but you get the blow-up valve. It definitely fixes it. It's disappointing they don't do it, but again, you can't make a brand change stuff. If you get the blow-up valve, you don't have any issues. So it's something to think about. But then again, talk about drilling. You got to drill into your intake manifold. So you got to take it all out. The only thing I have to say that I wouldn't do again if I got another Yamaha is the whole intake manifold mod where you have to drill in that out. That I would not do again because that was like a big pain in the butt. There's plastic shavings everywhere, and I just wouldn't do that again. That's the one thing I would not do at all again. It was like one of those things like I did it, I would not do it again. And same when I did it with the Sea-Doo was the intake manifold mod with that. I wouldn't do that. But then the Sea-Doos, you got to put the girdle around the plastic intake manifold because they actually flex and stuff. And I did notice mine where it moved, not where it was damaged. Luckily, I caught it before it got worse. But like that's another like thing that people don't think about. You got to pull this off and put this girdle to protect it because it's flexing. And I've seen where like it completely comes undone. And it's like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. You can't put it on with it in the ski. You have to take the whole intake manifold out. See, I'm thinking I'm getting behind. Bait said also hashtag feed the doggos. And now you know it's all chill. Like now the dogs are all like sleeping. Got Ragnar there, Cash below my feet, Pike there. They're all the fighting and the wrestling's over. This is how they normally are, just chill. Basically, let's donate to the Feed the Dogs Foundation. Every dollar helps. Yeah, it's no big deal. If you don't like, I'm not asking. Nobody has to donate money if you don't want to. Super chats. If you want to, cool. I'm not asking it. You know, Cole said I would, but I don't have a credit card set up on the phone. Sorry, Wolf. It's no big deal. You don't have to do it. Bate said, "Who is liking and disliking the video?" Question mark. Legit, Riva pre-builds, in my new opinion, are way overpriced. Not even running the state street tune on most. I won't speak in that, but I do agree on certain things like that. I mean, what they're trying to do is do something custom, limited to somebody who doesn't know how to do all that stuff. To me, I like doing what I did, where it's my own thing and could change stuff. Like, because they do certain things where they anodize certain parts that you can't buy, but even your like they do the intake, or what is it, the valve covers, a valve cover, they powder coat those, and you can find there's like a local powder coater person by me, and I actually, the hard thing why I haven't done it yet is because I think it's like a week or two it takes to do it or whatever it is, and I'd rather buy another one, but they're not cheap, and do that because what happens is I got lizards that go in my garage, and you have bugs or whatever it is, like anything comes into there. Like I've seen lizards, like I had it like once where the lizard was still on the jet ski, little baby lizard, when I went on the jet ski and bring it back, and it came from my garage. So like I see, when I was moving the trailers around, there was like a lizard on there. So if you had it open, even if you put rags over it, I just don't have something like that going inside my engine, and it could cost me like a lot of money. So I mean, that's where I haven't done it yet. I want to do it because I want to match it exactly to the yellow and everything else. I think it look really. It would be you could hydro dip it or you could powder coat it, and both work. Like the hydro dipping, we could do carbon fiber look, which I think would look kind of cool. Or you could do it, the powder coating to match identical to the yellow of what the seats and the graphics are. So it's like I don't know what I would do, but it would be cool to do that. Probably what I would do is if they got the new intake crate, or not the intake, ride plate with them, Viva's Gen 2, I would powder coat that. And if it's probably going to come black, I would match it to the yellow, which would be cool. It would look pretty cool from the bottom, I think. Gilbert says, hi from PR. What's going on? Caleb says, you're going to have so many cop cars left out. Now I'm going to have two. My new one comes on Sunday, and I'm pretty excited. It's a really, I posted a photo of what the back of the cage looks like, and really low miles, super excited. And yeah, at least Florida Saturday or set. When is it? I'm getting Sunday, right? Is it Saturday or Sunday? I don't remember. No, I think it's Sunday. I'm getting it. Whatever it is, they're leaving the day before that night, and it's gonna be there the next day. So I'm excited, and it's crazy because actually I think that the crazy thing is that I think not to talk about another YouTuber, but Cletus, which is not his real name, it's Garrett. But he has his little track, and he's buying all these Crown Vics, and it's coming from the same county. I saw some post on the Crown Vic group where like the county post he bought like 60 or 70% of the Crown Vics they had for sale for his event, and the police car that I got is coming from the county or that town that he's been buying it from the county with, which I had to laugh. But mine's for a canine unit, which is crazy because it has this hot and pop thing feature. So the hot and pop works is like, I'm guessing this. I'm not going to act like I'm the expert, but it's pretty cool. So like a canine cop would have this thing on him, like a tricorder Star Trek kind of thing, right? You press the button and it'll just pop the door right open. These new are almost $3,000, and like I don't want to say what I'm paying for the car, but like literally one part is almost the price of the whole entire car, which is crazy. And it has that, and it has super low miles. Like I'm super excited. I'm just like lucky that I found it, and I did a huge search mile radius on Facebook Marketplace, and I can't tell how many people I've been asking about cars, and uh, I'm happy. I'm definitely happy. It's too bad. I was telling my parents about it. It's just too bad that Leo is not still alive and got to experience all this because it had been so cool with that giant German Shepherd. He had him in the car. He would have just had a blast, and it would have been so nice because with him shedding and stuff. It's just too bad he didn't get to see it all. It's just kind of disappointing. I just saw some photo that I shared on my Instagram. I am underscore Beowulf. It was from like 5 years ago with me and Leo. And when I took that photo out, if somebody said 5 years from now your dog's dead, I just wouldn't believe it. It's kind of crazy. Gotta enjoy stuff. So I'm trying to catch up. I started talking, and I don't know where I'm at with these comments. He says, "Yo, let's donate to get to feed the dog. It was fun to feed all his dogs. It's roughly 300 something crazy. It's a lot of money because you got the puppy food and you got the other food, and the puppies eat twice a day, like a lot of food." Cole said, "Breaking news: new from CDU Spark 2021 plastic engine block." No, just kidding. Kelb said, "Breaking news: breaking new carbon steel is made of Polytech. Laugh out loud." Calls it Polytech equals plastic. Plastic equals poop. But oh, the crazy thing. So I was reading this article that was talking uh, animals in the water. So we got the orca tattoo, right? And orcas are one of the most dangerous animals in the world, and they don't harm people. The only time they harm people is when they're kept in captivity, right? Well, this craziest thing, I think it's in Spain, in this one region of Spain, these biologists were doing something to these killer whales, this pod, and now the pod is out to get people. So any boats, they're ramming the rudders to disable the boats in the water, and there's an advisory in this area not to have any small craft in the area because the killer whales are intentionally disabling boats. They hate people in this one. These biologists must have done something to them, and this is not the behavior of killer whales to be doing that. And it's kind of crazy. I think it'd be the coolest thing to be with killer whales in the water. But again, they're so intelligent, you don't know what's going through their head. Like you don't want to upset them. They're very smart. And I think it's totally crazy that they do that. I mean, something's had to happen, and that pod dislikes people, but it's crazy because there's like one pod. I don't even know if they're still alive because of this whole issue, but it was in the East Coast up by Seattle, and they would only eat wild salmon in the water in the ocean, and there was no salmon, so that's the only thing they would eat. And this one pod would stay right off of the Seattle coast. Now there's like another pod that travels up and down the coast, so we'll eat like fish, salmon, seals, dolphin, like all this other stuff, and will keep surviving. But this other pod, they would only eat one thing. And it's kind of crazy. Like it's sad when you see that kind of stuff happening. And I think Native American Indians had a salmon farm, and they were trying to hand feed the salmon to the killer whales. The problem is they eat so much. It's just it's great that somebody's trying, but it's such a hard battle to fix with it. It's disappointing that that's happened. Cole said it's all fun and games until you realize you gotta drill holes. Cole says, as long as you know how to righty tighty, lefty loosey, you can do some basic things like an integrate. We got to make sure that you got them on there. You don't want the thing to drop. It's one of those things. I think people with jet skis, you have to be a little bit more like mechanically inclined. Like if I was riding motorcycles, I would definitely want to know how they work and work on them, because it's like it's your life in your own hands, not somebody else's. Lich said, like the Riva steering system looks like it would be really hard to install. It's not easy. It's definitely like a lot of stuff lining up, and it's time consuming. And I did a whole video how to install it. You watch it, see if you can think you can do it. I mean, that's why I like doing those like install videos. The only one is those jet trim ankle mats where like I once started doing those. Like the trays, they're real easy because if you mess up, you can kind of move it around where it's not like impossible, right? Those ankle mats, it's just like open area all around. It's like you can't mess up. It's not easy. Tyrone asked, would you ever try the Fizzle intercooler? I've looked them up. The hard thing is like from reading both other brands, you have to, with the jet pump, you have to upgrade the stuff in there with the water going into that. And that's why I would a little hesitant about the Fizzle intercoolers. But I mean, I don't know. Without trying something, I mean, I really couldn't. I think if you were looking at like a Sea-Doo intercooler, there's just bolts right up, everything works. But I think with the Yamahas, I don't. It's even when you look at all three of them. Let's talk work racing, Fizzle, Riva. If you read, it's just not like what the price is and what they look like. Read the instructions of what is all put into doing it, and it's like it's a lot of work, and it's just like, and when you're looking at intercoolers, not to say like Riva's the best, but they have like a dyno that they have the engine on, so they know where their water lines and cooling things. And I don't know if Fizzle's done stuff like that. I don't know. I mean, it's just one of those things. And work racing. I mean, I don't even think there's a photo of what it looks like in the ski. And I've called them and said like, hey, like not asking one for free or something, but I'm like, like I don't see photos that I know how it goes. And I'm asked the company, I'm like, you guys got any photos? No. And they said they sent one off to somebody to do an article on, and I've seen yet a photo of what it looks like in the ski. And I even think with the Riva one, the two exit lines on the right side, I don't even think you reuse them. I think you have to, like from last, and it's not like I recently looked at it, but I think you have to drill other holes. So you're putting more holes in the ski, and like, oh man, it's just once you read all that stuff, I'm like, man, do you really have to install it? It makes me always change my mind. I just know, not the knock any brand, but I just know from research if we're on the subject. So you guys can do your own research in this. It's Alibaba.com, right? I'll pull it right up now just to show Alibaba. And I just want to show you guys something. And you can take this by what I show, but this is like I like to tell the truth for people to see stuff. So I'll show you something. So I don't want to go in. I want to be on the So obviously Fizzle doesn't make his intercooler. I don't know where they're coming from, but I'll just show you some. So I'll search, go on Alibaba.com, search Fizzle intercooler, right? Now, this is something to think about, all right? Now, I'm not knocking something, right? But here is, it says his name on the intercooler, right? Look at this. And to get each, you can buy 20 units, and you can get, buy 20 units, you can get them for $15 each. If that's true or not, it's on there. I'm not trying to knock somebody's brand, or like, I'm just saying, this is like, if you do a little research on stuff, you can see that. I know that there's another, I won't say the person's name but he's selling like intercooler piping, and he's getting it from Alibaba, and he's buying in big bulk. So I'm just saying, it's just, you look in this, and they're like, it even says here, Fizzle style intercooler. And like, here we go, another company, right? And this is with a tile blow-off valve, and you can be getting them for like, here's, looks just like his stuff. Look at that. Looks identical, right? And you can buy minimum order 50 pieces, $250 each, and that's with a tile blow-off valve, intercooler piping, in. I'm just saying, I do my research, and like, I like to tell the truth about stuff, and we got on the subject, and I wouldn't bring it up unless we start talking about it. But it is kind of, here, we'll search Fizzle intercooler. And I'm not trying to piss somebody off or hurt somebody's business. I'm just saying, it's, I mean, I don't know, I'm just saying. Just doing a little research. But even, like, I know Riva's worried about this because people do the same thing, copying identical products, and then like, you buy down here for hardly nothing. Not just saying, this is just who I am as a person. I could have bought all this and never even told you guys and been like, hey, check out my intercooler system. Want to buy it? But I'm just not like that, because it's like, I could have totally not told any of you guys and be like, hey, look, I got this intercooler. Like, it's $500. You guys want to buy it? But I'm just not like that as a person. So just, yeah, it's just like, it's kind of crazy when you go on here seeing this stuff. This isn't eBay. This is Alibaba. This is where this is like where companies like want to make stuff. Like, if you are wanting to, because I know my past business when I went racing, I've known about Alibaba for like literally almost like 20 years. And if you were wanting to get a product, like you had a design and you didn't want to get made in America, you would go on Alibaba. And the scary thing is, like, not to get into politics or anything, but like countries like, I don't even want to say the name of the country, just to be, analytics is ran in that country, so I won't say it, but they steal other people's designs. They're not patents protected in another country. So you look at this stuff, and it's just it's a whole bunch of intercoolers for like, these are suppliers. This is like what companies manufacture. This isn't eBay that I'm showing stuff. Look at this. It's the exact same photo of his intercooler system, and it's saying $15, minimum order 20 pieces. And then it takes, this stuff takes time. It even shows it comes from the port of Shanghai. I'm just saying, yeah, that's like, it's kind of crazy. This isn't just jet skis. This is like, here we go. We'll pull up something else. Here you go. Sea-Doo intercooler piping, right? Look at this. Same stuff you can go buy. Every brand's making it, right? Minimum order, 20 pieces, $15 each. Look at this. It's the same stuff. Like, Riva's selling. Look at all this stuff. And you wonder where maybe people are getting stuff from. I don't know. But I guarantee you'd be looking at stuff at like, okay, we'll pull up another stuff. Doesn't this intercooler or the intake pipe look really familiar? Right? Minimum order 20 pieces, $15 each. Port of Shanghai. And look at this. The supply, it's hard to see on the phone, right? But it says supply ability 60,000 pieces per month. And it shows all this data. I mean, here we go. We can pull a bunch of parts up. Doesn't that look familiar? Right? $15 each, 20 pieces minimum. Shanghai. And this is all coming from one company in, you can do the research where Shanghai is at. And that's what's going on. And I don't know. We want to, I'm not trying to hurt all these companies in the industry, but this is the facts. And I guarantee if you go into the car industry or just in general, anything pulling up in there, the site, you can find anything. And it could be where it's coming from, or it could be somebody duplicating it. I'm just saying, do your research, because I told you there's another person, and I should probably say the name of the company because they unfollowed me. They only do Sea-Doo stuff, but he unfollowed me on Instagram. So maybe I should just say his name. I should just say his name. I should just say it because he unfollowed me, but there's nothing to protect the person. But this is where he's getting all his stuff is coming from this site because the intercooler piping is different than everybody else's, and it's exactly what's on Alibaba. And I know the owner of Riva told me they're all concerned because they have all these stuff being duplicated and all that. And it's just the facts. I mean, would it be I just don't want to be giving my financial stuff to a company that I don't know what could happen. All of a sudden, all my money's gone on my account. Maybe I should get one of these intercoolers and then buy the person's intercooler, and we'll compare and see if it's exactly identical. Wouldn't it be kind of scary if it was? I'm just saying, this is Literally the Ultra 310 looking kind of thick. I mean, it looks cool. See, that's actually where I want to get you guys comments in the bottom. So actually what I'm debating, I'm not saying this is for sure. I'm debating canceling the Superjet order and then purchasing a 310R Kawasaki. I'm trying to put it together what I want to do, and I'm almost at the fence of just doing it. I'm just forget it. Let's just do that. I'm kind of worried that they're going to come out with a new 310R, but in reality, if they do, it's not like you want to buy the first year anyways. I'm just may not get another stand up and get the Kawasaki 310R. Comment at the bottom. Is that something I should be doing? I was going to do a poll on Instagram because I don't think YouTube does polls anymore. Maybe they still do or not. Literally, Turbo can fix that. Let's see, easy fix. I already read that one off. Swedish says Beowulf really knows his stuff. You can't hide anything from him. I'm one of those people. If we went on to other stuff, I don't want the channel to become about this in the live stream. I know a lot of stuff. Stuff that when I tell people, other world stuff, you'd be like, how does he know so much stuff? I'd literally anything. It doesn't have to be jet skis. I know a lot of stuff, and I can tell you where stuff's coming from. And yeah, I just have from experience of finding out stuff. Swedish says buy made in USA. I totally 100% agree. Christian says, I'm thinking about selling my my RXTX 300 2020. What should I get? Best comparison to what you already got, FX SVHO would be a big step up, and you probably really like that. GP is a little bit different. I mean, I would sit on them both, see what you're kind of feeling like. Christian says, I have 2 of the 2020s and I'm selling it to my local marina for 32,000. That's a pretty good amount of money. How many hours are on them? I gotta catch up. I'm like, I've been talking too much, and it's like, boom, where am I at with these comments? Be patient. This has been a good live stream. It's kind of like, hey, like it's like halfway an hour in, we're exposing other stuff. Like Sea-Doo's not safe, Yamaha, Kawasaki, and everybody in the industry, like, tell the truth because I'm gonna expose it. It's like nobody's safe. People are like, watch out for this guy, he's set loose. Christian said, my Sea-Doo does 77 right now with the ska. I'm really definitely into, which is definitely enough speed, but looking at the Yamaha's JBL audio kit. Yeah, definitely. I'd have to say, like, the FX, the JL audio with the subwoofer in there. Like, I wasn't really familiar with that. When I went to New York Boat Show and I actually saw the FX, like, up front and then saw the subwoofer, I'm like, this is really not, it's like a name brand stuff. I mean, it's, again, not knocking Sea-Doo, but you're buying the speakers, like, where is it coming from? It's a lot of money, $1,000 basically for. If we're already looking what these intercoolers and other parts are, maybe get this stuff for like $20. I don't know. It's kind of crazy. Like, how much are they really making? Everybody got to make a buck, I guess. I mean, like, literally, if I told you guys what I sell my merch for, or what I get it for and what I sell it for, you'll be like, I literally making no money doing it. I'm just doing it to have cool stuff out there. It's not like there's like this huge like markup. I mean, literally, it's like I buy the best stuff that's out there, like t-shirt wise, like fitment, and like look at this. You go look at other brands making jet ski shirts, right? And like I'm not like gonna say I'm like ripped or anything, but look at my sleeves. Everything is like, it's a fitted shirt. It's not like I have other people's shirts that they've sent me in the past, and like I look like I don't even have I look like I have like skinny arms or something. Like nothing's fitting like fitted. This is really fitted. And this shirt's been washed a gazillion times. It fits just like the first time wearing it. I buy like really good stuff and I don't mark up anything. Let's see. I'm gonna scroll through half this stuff. Yeah, let's say get this 310R. And that's Aviva selling it powerfully. I don't know if that's where it's coming from, and I'm probably gonna be a bunch of people pissed at me tomorrow after seeing this. Like, I just like it's public info. This isn't like this top secret website with passwords and all that. You just do a little research and just search terms and search stuff, and like it's you gotta like if you look at stuff. I think. Oh, I'm sorry. But I think like GoPro moved the factories to Mexico, and they used to be in Asia, probably for a reason, to protect stuff, trade, designs and all that kind of stuff. It's just stuff to think about. It's where a lot of, I couldn't even imagine how these people's like when there's companies like some whoever warehouse somewhere, like we're like, let's clone it, let's duplicate it. The drilling holes is, even if you have insurance, if you drill holes in your ski, it won't be covered under insurance. That's a one thing when you're looking at commodities. It's one of those things you gotta be a little careful. Like, you rather do like basic stuff that you can put back to stock, or like if they find out what you did caused it, the insurance will not cover paying for it. Or if you have more than one climb on the same ski, they'll drop you. That's again why I got rid of the Sea-Doo, is because I had one insurance claim. I did not want to have another, knowing that some period of time the carbon seal could go wrong and sink the ski. Like my insurance would drop me on everything I got. And I can't afford having to find a whole new insurance for everything I got. Cars, home, jet skis, like come on, people. I'm gonna read all these. Swedish says that's right. Your stuff is great for the same price for the others selling. That is overpriced. Not great. Thanks. Who's licking their God? I'm licking your paws, Cash. Nobody wants to hear you licking your paws. Cash he's impulsive disorder of licking himself all the time, and I had to always stop him because he just starts licking and he doesn't realize it. He's just like licking himself, licking his paws. Look at me stretching. See if he does the army crawl. See if there. Look at there. He's in his toad mode. He just starts. He'll start crawling all around the floor. He only does it where there's carpet. Probably likes his belly scratched. Yeah, some states are required to have insurance. Like, you actually get in trouble if you don't. But you gotta think, what if you hit somebody else and then like you gotta think of both sides. Sean goes, anybody? Sean got CD lately. I don't think if somebody did, I don't think they would admit, be like, yeah, because they'd probably be like wondering how they're gonna get rid of it. And I could be like, yeah, oh, isn't that the guy that had it where it sunk? Well, somebody told me that I don't know where I forgot who sent me some message, said somebody's bragging how Sea-Doo's tracking, decided they're filing claims on people by their social media posts. And I'm thinking to myself, where does Sea-Doo have the right to be background checking their customers? They're that insecure of a business that they have to be background checking people? That's pretty sad. Like checking up everybody's Facebook or Instagram and stuff. I'm thinking to myself, first, if you had that knowledge, why would you tell people that? And then let alone, where does a company have the nerve to be background checking somebody like you're some criminal? At first, I think it's against the law with certain things like that. But I'm thinking to myself, how insecure are you as a company if you're background checking your customers, deciding if you're going to be filing an insurance claim or not, or filing warranty claim? Sorry, not insurance, filing a warranty claim or not, or just canceling their warranty. It's pretty messed up. Pretty messed up. The company does something like that. I don't know what's more messed up, that they do that, or somebody who knows that tells the public that they do that. So they make people in fear, like they'll be scared to be admitting that they had an issue. Be like, I won't tell nobody, and they do that probably just so more people don't brag about it. Adrian says, "Wow, I'm here and I missed the whole thing. Epic live stream. Luckily, when it ends, you can rewatch the whole thing and it plays back just like a normal video. So you don't get to be in the live chat talking, but you get to see the chat while it's live when you rewatch it. It's pretty cool." Now look at them. Now they're awake. Look at this. Let's see if we can. Now look at these two. This is what Ragnar does to Cash. Cash just wants to sit there and just be like, Cash is just lazy dog. He sleeps all day. Like literally, the dog sleeps so much. I don't even know how he stays in shape. He just sleeps all the time, right? And this is what she does. Just riles him up. Look at Cash. He's like, you're not messing with me. The craziest thing is, imagine what Cash is going to take when this dog is fully grown. She's not even halfway grown yet. Cash is going to be like in big trouble. He must like it because if he didn't want to be treated like this, you just walk away. But I want to check before that Crown Vic ships that I want to know exactly what police department it came from. Like the other one I got came from a Charleston, South Carolina police, and it's actually cool. Like let me find it. I'll pull up a photo of that. It's pretty. I don't think I saved it, but I'll show you. So if you've seen photos, like there's a cutout of that trim, and it's because this is where their logos came through. Let me find the. No, I searched. I saw it real fast. Like, yeah, this basically shows you. Let me get where it's bigger. No, let's get it where it's. Let me just and a photo. There we go. All right, this is pretty cool, actually. So you can tell in the photos. So see, their logo was like this giant badge. So they cut the trim here and here is how that came down. It's kind of crazy because I still have left over, like in some little areas, is black little lines. I think it's such a cool thing that that's what it looked like. Let me get to the camera. Look at that. Isn't that pretty wild? So that was like a giant and they cut instead of like, what's shocking is you figure they go over that little trim, but no, they cut it out to specifically fit it. So originally, I was gonna do like some graphic to go in there, right, just to fill it. I'm like, well, that'd be kind of cool. But then I snagged on eBay like there's this trim right here, and I got it where it's black. So I think it's just to make the card look more unique. He just is probably not going to get another CDU. All right, so where are we at? Oh, man, an hour and 49 minutes. We've been here for almost 2 hours chatting away. I think it's time to get up. It is 10 o'clock, and I haven't ate dinner yet. I'm hungry, and these dogs are probably like, man, bless you. Bless you, Pike. So we're probably going to end this off now. Type up a few things. So Amazon.com/shop/Am Beowulf. All the cool stuff there. Check that out. And then Am Beowulf merch. Am Beowulf.com. Check out both of those. And again, too, which I should have talked way early on the live stream. I'm doing free monthly giveaways, totally free to enter. You have to be subscribed to I'm Beowulf, Beowulf Nation, both YouTube channels. Right? If you're not doing this, you will not be entered. If you end up winning and I find out you're not entered at both of those, what is going on behind me? I've seen stuff falling. I'm trying to close out this video. You guys knocked over my stand. So it's totally free to enter. And but you have to, if you end up not doing all this, you will not win. So I'll enter somebody else. Subscribe to I'm Beowulf, Beowulf Nation. Like the videos. Then you have to follow me on Instagram. You don't have to do both, but the Instagram, one or the other. Follow me on Instagram, I'm_Beowulf. Or if you don't do Insta, you obviously then do Facebook, which is owned by the same people. But on my Facebook page, I'm Beowulf. Follow either one of those. That's how you're going to win. Free monthly giveaways. Going to give away Jet Drive Life Fest, all that cool stuff. Milestone giveaways. When I hit 10,000 subscribers, I'm giving a signed Michael Jordan photograph. And I want to hit 25,000. We're giving away brand new Xbox or brand new PlayStation. Who's doing that? Me. Give him back. Give him back to the Beowulf Nation. So I'm Beowulf. Be driven to win. Remember, every day is Earth Day. Be safe out there. I'll see you guys in the next one. The next live stream will be on Monday. So I'm only thinking I'm going to be doing 2 a week now. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out. Beowulf Nation.